Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and welcome back to another Sims 4 speedrunning video. It feels like a really long time since I last said that, and it's because it has been a really long time. It's been 4 months since my last upload, which is unbelievable. 4 months ago was the last time I uploaded a video. It feels like a lot longer, but then it also feels like it's been no time at all, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But yeah, I did have a little break from YouTube. I didn't actually say anything in a video or anything like that on YouTube that I was going to be taking a little break. Well, this is the thing, I didn't expect myself to be taking a break. I was just basically doing so much with making 2 videos a week, plus trying to maintain my degree and all this kind of stuff, and it was just getting to the point where I was struggling a lot because I couldn't manage everything that I needed to do, and I was always just pushing myself to upload more videos, but then I was just kind of neglecting the other things in my life, like going out with my friends, seeing my family, and doing all that kind of stuff. And especially with uploading the amount of videos that I used to, I only used to upload 2 videos a week. At one point for I think 5 or 6 months, I was uploading videos 3 times a week. Now I don't even know how I managed to do that. I really don't, because I was uploading 3 videos a week, but sometimes a whole video would take me a day or 2. And the amount of times I've actually built stuff and I've just completely bulldozed it. I've got halfway into the build and I'm like, no, I don't like it. And I'll completely bulldoze it. And when you're kind of on a tight schedule to meet the kind of my upload schedule that I had, I felt so restricted, and I felt like, right, I just need to do a little build. And so I was starting to do loads of little builds, and although I love little builds and I really do love tiny builds, I really wanted to put all of my effort into one big build, and I'd rather just spend more time on one build and just kind of make it the best that I could possibly make it, instead of doing just a kind of load of videos just so I had content and I was delivering content for my given kind of time frame that I gave myself. Because at one point I was uploading twice a week or 3 times a week, and I kind of had a time frame to kind of manage my time. I had to do this, I had to do uni, I had to go there, I had to do this, and it was just a little bit too much. And so originally I thought that I was just going to be cutting back my schedule, kind of just not even cutting it back, just kind of getting rid of my schedule completely, and I was going to be uploading when it was good for me and kind of just figuring out and just doing what was best for me basically. But that didn't really happen, because once I started my 3rd year, so I don't actually know, and I'm not familiar with how universities that are outside of England work. I'm not too familiar with them. I don't really know anything about the US uni system or anything like that. But basically, in your final year, in your 3rd year of uni in England, you have to do this thing, and it's called a dissertation. You have to write a dissertation. Now, if you're from England, you've probably heard this a few times, you probably know what a dissertation is. I think there is something similar to it in the US, I'm not completely sure, but basically it's just a massive essay that you've got to write, and you've got to do it in your 3rd year, and it's a really important essay. And it took me 4 months to write this essay. I started it in October and I finished it in January. Now, I was actually meant to upload this video which you're seeing now. I was actually meant to upload it kind of on the 1st or 2nd of January, New Year, I'm coming back onto YouTube kind of thing, but that didn't happen because I was still writing my dissertation. I started it in October and I didn't finish it until January. It took me a really, really long time, and it's just a very, very long piece of writing that you've got to do, and it kind of just, that was my whole entire focus for the past 4 months. If you follow me on Twitter, you would have seen literally my only personality for the past few months was my dissertation, just because it was always on my mind. It was the only thing that I was doing. I barely just did anything. I barely played The Sims. I barely played any games. I played a few here and there, but the majority of the time, all of my days, I was just writing that, going to meetings about it and all that kind of stuff. And so that was kind of my key focus. And because I was so focused on it, I didn't want to just get into The Sims and start building, because when I build, I just kind of get into a mindset, and literally hours could pass and I wouldn't even realise, because I'm just having so much fun, and I kind of knew that I couldn't do that. I needed to focus on it. And so yeah, my little kind of, what I thought I was just going to be uploading whenever I wanted, just kind of turned into me just going away from YouTube for a little while, and I didn't realise it. But enough about that. I just kind of want to now get in and speak about this build and speak about the area around it. So this is for my save file. I am so, do you know what, I can't wait to keep on building more things for my save file. Since I've been away, I just really want to get it finished. I'm really, really, really looking forward to when I can release it. I feel like a bit of a broken record saying this, but I have got so many ideas for it and so many things I want to do, and I'm just really excited to get it finished. Now, this is in the starter neighbourhood of Willow Creek. Well, this is what I class as a starter neighbourhood of Willow Creek anyway. It's kind of like when you go into a new game, this is where like the starter houses are, and I always just kind of see it as the starter neighbourhood. And as it happens, this is actually my favourite neighbourhood in that whole entire game. I don't know why, I absolutely love it. I'm kind of torn between Willow Creek and Brimstone Bay for my favourite worlds, but I always seem to have my Sims live here, and as it happens, my actual current Sim is living in this house, so I just really love this little neighbourhood. So this is actually for my save file, like I mentioned. Now, if you would have seen, as I was kind of like rotating around, all of the other houses in this little neighbourhood are completed now, and I have finished them, which makes me really sad because this is my favourite kind of style to build in. And for my save file, I'm going to try and make all of the little neighbourhoods, kind of like all the little like districts and that, look all the same. And I wanted it to be maybe the people that built the houses, they were all building them at the same time and they just look really similar. I'm not really sure how it works in the US, but in the UK, a lot of the houses were built around about the same time, and a lot of houses look very similar to each other. And I kind of wanted to do that, but just not make it look like England. I just kind of wanted it to be suburban, and like building suburban houses is my favourite thing to build. I just absolutely love them. And I'm just really sad because this is my favourite place to build in my whole entire save file, and I have finished it now. Although saying that, I do actually have 2 starter houses in this little neighbourhood that I think I might actually go in and either completely rebuild or just renovate. So since I've built them, it's been a while. I can tell you that it's been a very long time because I started my save file like over a year ago, and it's been a really long time since I built them. But obviously we've had so many more packs come out and we've had new things, and especially with starter houses, since then we had the world objects cheat released to us, and obviously with that you get loads of plants and trees and just pretty gardening and things like landscaping items, and you can get them for free in that menu. And I feel like especially with starter houses, that is a key thing to use because you're saving quite a lot of money, because landscaping is really expensive in the game. It's honestly, sometimes landscaping can be thousands of simoleons and it's a lot of money. So especially with my starter houses, I'm definitely going to go in and just change the plants to be just, you know, the ones from the debug menu or the world objects cheat, and just so then I can spend a little bit more money on the inside of the house and more gameplay activities for it. This particular house, I don't even know how much I spent on the landscaping. Nothing's changed. I have actually cut out all the landscaping for the back garden. You'll see me doing a little bit now, but in my time away, my routine for it has not changed. I still don't show the back garden landscaping. It's literally the exact same basically, and I've been doing this thing quite a lot, which you'll see me do now, and I have quite a lot of pools in my houses. I don't know what it is, but I always put pools in my back gardens. I feel like it's such a good gameplay object to have, or can a pool be classed as an object? I'm not even sure, but it's such a good gameplay thing to have in a house. And I've been recently doing a lot of plants and flowers all around the pool. I think it is the most beautiful thing. I've done it quite a lot in a few of the houses in the save file, so I did it here. It took me a really long time. As you can imagine, there is so many plants there. I don't even want to know how much all the landscaping in this house costs, but I decided to cut it out. Nothing's changed there. Also, I do want to mention that I did actually start building this house in August. Now, since I started building the main structure of the house, because I did the main structure of the house and I think I did a little bit of the landscaping, and then I finished the rest of it off. All of the footage you're seeing now, I did actually just do the other day. But in the time that I've built this house, or started building this house, we've had an expansion pack come out, we've had a game pack and a stuff pack. Tiny Living actually came out yesterday. I'm not completely sure when I'm going to upload this video, but Tiny Living came out yesterday, and I really want to do a really small micro home. Is it called a micro home or a tiny? I'm not even sure. I know there's 3 different levels, but I really want to do it. I did try and kind of mess around with it a little bit yesterday when it was released, and I could not believe how small a micro home is. It's actually really difficult to do, but I really want to give myself a challenge to do one of each of the builds. Now, I don't think the tiny home, which is 100, I was about to say 1,000 tiles, 100 tiles would be that difficult, and I'm pretty sure I've got quite a lot of houses in my save file already that are below that limit. I think there might even be one in this neighbourhood, this little neighbourhood around here. I think there might even be one tiny home. But I really like the idea of like the bills are less, you get relationship gain. I think one of them you get, or I think 2 of them actually, you get your skills go up faster and gardening is better, and I'm just really excited and I really want to dive in and just do so many little tiny builds now. I was doing quite a lot of tiny builds beforehand just because I really like doing them, and I'm really excited to explore everything in that pack. I really want to use the, what's it called, the Murphy bed. I saw it yesterday. I didn't go into live mode, I just kind of looked at the furniture and stuff. I haven't even seen the cache yet, but I'm just really excited to actually use it because that was one of the objects I really wanted. I remember in The Sims, I think it was The Sims 2 Apartment Life, when that came out, or when it was introduced into The Sims, and I loved that and I really wanted it in The Sims 4, and we finally got it, and I'm really excited to actually start using it. As well as Realm of Magic. I think actually I have done a build since we've had Realm of Magic. Yeah, I believe I did an apartment for some spellcasters, but University, I'm so happy with University. If you've been watching my channel for a little while, or before I went away, then you'll know that University was the pack that I wanted the most. I was so excited for it to come out. It was like my most wanted pack, and now that we've got it, I'm so happy with it. I've been playing around with it quite a lot, and I'm just really happy with everything now. And I'm not sure what's going to be next, because I feel like all the big packs that everyone wants in the game have now been done, which is really exciting because it gives room for more things, like tiny living, for instance. Who thought we would ever get a tiny living pack? I mean, maybe you did, but I certainly didn't. And so it gives room for more experimentation in the game. I hope that one day we could possibly get a farming pack. I'll absolutely love a farming pack. I've actually already got a farm in my save file. I built it what feels like forever ago. It's called Rosewood Farm. I'll put a little card on the screen now for it, and I just really want a farming pack because I've already built a farm for it, and it's going to be my save file, so it'd be perfect if we could actually get a farming pack. We also do have the latest community voted pack to come out. We're still voting on it. I'm really excited for when that comes out. I think it's a knitting pack, or it's definitely like a hobbies pack or something. I'm really excited. I hope it is knitting. I think it is knitting. I don't even know. It's been a while since I actually looked at it, but I really am excited for that to come out, and I feel like it's going to be a great pack for elders, and it will kind of just introduce more gameplay for elders, because I feel like elders are so underappreciated in The Sims and they really need some more hobbies. And I would love if we could eventually get walking sticks like in The Sims 3. I would love that to pieces. But anyway, I'm going to stop rambling about that now, and I'm actually going to speak about the inside the build. So we have now moved on to the inside, and like always, same thing goes. It hasn't changed. I still did do the wallpapering and flooring off camera. It takes me way too long. I think I just used a base game wallpaper for the majority of the house, and then there might be like a few tiles from different kind of game packs or expansion packs, but I'll tell you what tiles they are all from. Like always though, I am starting off with the kitchen. So the kitchen and the dining room are kind of all into one there as you walk in through the front door. Now, even though this could be kind of considered a medium size lot to build on, so I believe it's a 40 by 30 or a 30 by 40, I can't remember. The original family that lived here with the BFF, I think I'm just going to not include them in my save file, or if I do, I think I'm going to move them into an apartment or something. I'm not quite sure, but I wanted this little neighborhood to be a family, just kind of like full of loads of families and maybe a few single Sims and stuff. And so I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet, but this house does actually have 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. Now this house does also have 2 kitchens. Now, even though it is a kind of small house, 2 at the left of the house, as you would have seen at the front, there is a garage, and it was such a big room and I didn't know what to do with it, and it would be a bit weird because I did actually try splitting it into like several different rooms and like maybe 2 rooms, but the way that it was shaped was a bit strange, and so I was a bit confused on what I wanted to do with it. And then I decided that I was actually going to have it so it would be a separate little house, basically like a separate little house within the garage for some grandparents. So in there is a kitchen. It's only a small tiny little kitchen, and I know that you don't really need it because it is quite a small house, but I thought it would be nice for some grandparents to live in there. So they've got a little kitchen, they've got a bathroom, they do have like a little seating area as well as their like bedroom area as well, and it's just really sweet. And especially for the kind of family neighborhood I want this to be, I think it would be so nice to have a family living with the grandparents. I just really like that, especially with Parenthood as well. I feel like that is a great use of Parenthood. But in this kind of a kitchen dining slash walkway area, I did use the majority of the Parenthood kitchen stuff pack, so, or not kitchen stuff, but the kitchen stuff from that pack. And so I used all the counters. I believe I used the same fridge and the same oven, and then all of the dining room chairs as well as a table are also from Parenthood. I really like this light wood, and I believe that I've been using it for quite a while. Whenever I've done speed builds, I just really love it, and I especially love the Parenthood counters. They are my favourite ones to use, and it just looks so homey and welcoming, and I can imagine a really nice family to live in this house. I haven't yet created them, and I don't know what their jobs are going to be or who they are and all their interests and stuff, but I am really excited to actually start making all the families for my save file. This house does also have laundry, so if you don't want to include it in the house, like maybe you just don't like doing laundry in The Sims, that's completely fine, you can delete that. There is also a washing line outside as well. But now I'm actually moving on to the bathroom. So because there is 2 bathrooms in this house and they're practically the same, I still did the same thing, and I'm only showing the furnishing of one. Again, I'm using the Parenthood counters, and then in here I also do just have a little shower, a toilet, and then a bathtub as well. I can't actually remember what shower I ended up going with. I think I did actually settle with this base game one, and then I think I went for a Seasons bathtub. I don't know, it's been a while since I've actually built it. Yeah, I did. I went for a Seasons bathtub. I actually really like that bathtub, and I feel like I always use that in my builds. Maybe I need to start exploring a little bit more of the bathroom objects. Like, we've got so many toilets now, by the way, in the game. There is so many toilets, and we do not need that amount of toilets. But anyway, moving on, I'm now starting furnishing the lounge room. So ideally you could actually position the lounge room to be in the garage and just make it a really big lounge room, but I really wanted the big windows to be looking out into the garden. Whenever I do like kitchens or lounge rooms, I always try and make them so they're looking out into a garden, so it's a nice view. I don't know why, but I always do it, and especially with sinks as well in kitchens. I think I've mentioned this a few times in my videos, but whenever I do kitchen sinks, I always make sure there's a window in front of them, so even though your Sims don't look up when they're washing the dishes up, they can, in my head, they can look out the window and look onto the garden. I don't know, I always just kind of do that. But in this lounge room, I do just use the cats and dogs fireplace, and then I believe these are some of the new bookcases that we got with, I think it was university, and I placed them right next to this bookcase. Now, I think they fit in so perfectly. The same kind of style, and they just work so well against this fireplace, and it kind of looks like it's all a built-in kind of unit, and it's all just put in together and it's not separate, and I really like it. And I feel like in my future builds I'm probably going to end up doing this quite a lot, just because the woods are very similar, it's a very similar kind of style, and I just really like it. I also use these base game sofas in here. I think I've said this a million times, but I really wish they would have a 2-seater version of this sofa, or if we could just get more colours of this sofa, because we only have 3 colours. I think we have the colour that I've used, green, and then like a burnt orange. I can't remember, it's been a while, but I really hope that one day we can just get some more normal sofas. We didn't actually get 2, I think we got technically 1 new sofa with tiny living, but one of them is actually built into the bed, and then we also do have a little separate one, which I'm really excited to use because it is a really nice sofa, and I know that I'm going to be using it a lot. But now moving on, I've started furnishing what you can kind of class as the grandparents' quarter. So this is where maybe 2 grandparents live, or maybe just 1 grandparent lives, and this is just kind of like their little living room area. And so I actually did a very similar colour to the sofas that are in the main living room, but I used the cats and dogs one. The cats and dogs one, especially the one with the tall back, just reminds me of, it just kind of looks like a sofa that an older person would have in their house to me, like a nan or a granddad. I just really love that sofa, and I felt like it was a needed sofa for this little kind of quarter for them. We also do have a very similar kitchen, like I mentioned, and there is also a little tiny dining room table in the middle. It's just got 2 chairs, and it's just really cute. It's the ones from Cats and Dogs. I feel like Cats and Dogs is the perfect pack if you want to do a house for some elders. I feel like Cats and Dogs is like the perfect pack to use because there's so many objects that kind of look like they could be in an elder's house. But I also do have a little bedroom area in here as well, and of course I had to use the cats and dogs bed as well, the 4-poster bed. I feel like a lot of people say this as well, but that is just a grandparent's bed to me. It just is so perfect for them, and it's just so cute and cozy, and it's got a very similar wood tone to the rest of the furniture in the room, and it just kind of all ties together. Like always, I always go for this swatch, I feel like, but I went for the oak one with the light green. I just think it's so lovely, and it just looks so cozy University as well. And when we actually get the community voted stuff back, when that actually comes out and it's released, I'll definitely come back into this house and just add a few knitting items for the grandparents. I think that's going to be so adorable, and I just can't wait for that pack to come out, if I'm being honest. But now I'm actually moving on, and I've started furnishing one of the bedrooms. So this is a bedroom for a child, I believe. In here I used one of the new beds that we got from university. I actually used quite a lot of university furniture. Obviously, where I haven't been doing a lot of builds recently, all the furniture is still quite new to me, and so I feel like I'm probably going to be using it in quite a lot of my builds, just because when it's new and it's exciting, it's just fun to use new things. And so I used the majority of the furniture in this build that we got from university that is kind of meant to be for dorm rooms, but I thought it would actually suit a child's room as well. But in this bedroom we do just have a little desk area as well. Now, I didn't actually put a family computer into this house. I did actually kind of forget about it, but I was kind of thinking you do actually have this little laptop area in the child's bedroom, and then you also do have the ability to have laptops in the game now. So maybe if you wanted to have like a family computer or a family laptop, you can just put one into the dining room or something, and then they can sit on the dining room table and just go on the computer there. In this room though, I did just put a few childlike items. So I have a little toy box, I have a teddy bear, I also have that experiment table or experimental table. I really don't like the look of that table. I think I've said this like 100 times already, like in my previous videos, but I really hope that one day we just get another look for that table, because if you actually look at the tables for the drawing thing that we got with Parenthood and base game, and I swear that we got a few others in different packs, it's the same table but it's just got a few different looks, but it doesn't need any more. If they're going to do it again, if they're going to revamp that drawing table, I'd rather them just revamp the science table, because it's so ugly. I really don't like using it. But now moving on, I've now started furnishing the last room in the house. This is the parents' bedroom. In here we just have everything that a parent needs. There's nothing too out of the ordinary in here. It's literally just like a bed, some bedside tables, and some chest of drawers. Now, as you can see, I was trying to do this built-in thing and it just was not working, so in the end I just put a little dressing table which we got from Vintage Glamour, and then I do actually just put a little chest of drawers on one side of it as well, and do just clutter that up with a few items. I did actually try to put a mirror next to the vanity table, but then I thought that made no sense at all, so I just put a plant there instead. But anyway guys, I am actually going to end this voiceover here. So as always, I hope you enjoyed watching me build this suburban family home. I'm not quite sure what I'm actually going to title it yet, but it will probably be something along the lines of that. If you do want to download this house on the gallery, my origin ID is JessicapieYT, or you can search the hashtag JessicapieYT or just the hashtag Jessicapie and you'll be able to find it that way. But anyway guys, I'm going to end it here. Hopefully you liked this video, and as always, if you do like my content, then please subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in my next Sims 4 speed building video. Bye guys.